The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
I'm host Basil Chapman on this Thursday the 31st of July, wrapping up the month, and we're looking at the Dow up 141 at 44,602, still off the 45,016, so the 45,016 high of the 23rd of July. Just been making a kind of an arch formation. Had a bad day yesterday, coming back a little bit. That 9-period moving average is still strong, but I'm looking at this and saying there's a suggestion here that the mix of the Dow, which at times is just perfect and other times it's just kind of shaky and wobbly. We're in the wobbly stage right now. We'll see whether we go down much more than this. Certainly, I'd said 44,200 to 44,000 is the cushion that must hold. If we close two sessions within 3 days or within 3 bars, if you close twice underneath that level, that 44,000, that's going to be a problem. Haven't done that yet. Now, this is going to be very interesting because, look, the S&P, and we had a short position only because a very tiny short position. I did it more as a test of strength and insurance, not a trend change. And now we've got the S&P at a new all-time high. 6,427.02 is the high so far today. It's trading right now at 64.16. A fantastic leg C in the weekly charts. I've been doing some work. I'll probably have it a little clearer after the weekend going into next week. Just in terms of parameters that I'm looking at over the coming months, we'll see what happens there. QQQ all-time high, pulling back just a little bit from that high. It's at 573.22, up 523. All-time high today is 574.63. Calling this a leg F. That could be 1, 2, 3. Well, I almost got an instant restart, but I'm going to call it an F for now. And there are a couple of things that I need to talk about, but I just want to get through this. Look at this spectacular leg B, all the way from the 400 low to the where we are now, 172 points above that. That is amazing, and it's only in leg B. Let's go to the IWM as a Russell 2000. It is up 18 cents at 221.72, struggling a little bit, making that arch formation makes me a little nervous. And it is, I don't know if by Friday we can get to 226.75 to extend leg D. But right now it looks like we're going to make a peak D in the weekly chart. The technicals are still very strong, but the price has stalled quite a bit. I do want to go to the SMHs because that's so important. Look at this. The semiconductors are down 241 at 293.85 right now. This is under yesterday's all-time high. Look at NVIDIA. And this is why I'm saying that I think we're starting to get to the point now where the stretch is just, the rubber band has gone to the point where the upside is sporadic and that you can get isolated power moves like you're seeing Microsoft up 25, it was up 50-something, Meta, etc. I'll go through those in a moment. But right now, NVIDIA, I'm calling this a leg F, and it's the MACD flipped back to positive. The relative strength is a little weaker than it was back in late July. And now what we're looking at is that the stochastic at 90% is still flat. The unbalanced volume is a tad overbought. This is not giving any signal of any turn other than the Chapman wave notation. And this is only it's unbelievable. This is only from 86.62, the low in April, is trading at an all-time high as we speak in leg A in the weekly chart. And this can't be a G in the monthly chart. That has to be an A. Oh, my goodness. Is that amazing? All right. With that said, enough amazing. Let's get to something else. I want you to just go through the so look at this. VT. This is the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF, and the United States stocks account for 49%. Look at this. It made a peak D, and it's kind of stalling here. Now, there is a pattern that we look at. These are patterns that are in the Chapman methodology have served us very well over the years. This is called the falling axe, where you make lower highs and much lower lows, and all of a sudden tries to find some support. I will just say that if by Monday, VT, that is trading at 131.12, up 50 cents, having made an all-time high. Little Chapman wave 2-bar reversal at 132.08. And that was on the 25th of July. It's not a big deal, this little pullback. We filled in the gap. But if it's trading anywhere above 131.70, nah, let's be a little bit more. 131.80. 131.80. He doesn't have to close. It just ticks over there. And any time in the next two sessions going into Monday, that's going to be kind of important. I think we've made, in many areas, we've made some kind of top. I want to get to all that in a moment. Just let me quickly finish. So look, high-grade copper, I don't know what happened. It certainly took out, still with very nice profits, our this is one that just a small, a low price. I shouldn't say small cap. It's a low price. Taseko Mines copper stock that every once in a while we try to get in for a nice percentage gain, then we get out. So TGB, here it is. TGB had this huge pullback yesterday. We were in from 3. We took profits all the way up to 368. A little bit soft, a little bit, and now we've gone taken out completely, all for gains. But it's interesting. I don't know what happened. Something must have happened. Anybody there say anything about it? In the Tiger YouTube, did I see something? Government did this to copper in late 30s and 40s. I'm not sure. This is G in the Tiger YouTube. Yeah, mentioning something about, I don't know what it was, but that is a massive, something, this is a technical, it looked like it was a technical fault. But in fact, we've gone even lower today to 4.38. That's usually not a good sign of copper sliding, but we'll treat that separately. Look, I did that. I want to go to the bonds. Let's just go to the TLT. TLT is up a little bit today. It's gone to a peak B, and now it needs to go above 87.34, and then it will start a leg C. And that means that yields will be coming down. Isn't that interesting that maybe the yields will come down without Powell saying anything? They just happen to come down. Anyway, you can see the TBT is down 39 cents at 3.593, 3.59%. Okay, the 200-period moving average is at 35.44. So far, none of this is technically very weak. Now we're going to get to what I wanted to show you. Just let me show you crude oil first. Crude oil is pulling back just a little bit, down 22 cents at 69.77. It did break out, and I've been looking to see. I mean, interesting enough, if you go to CVX as part of the Dow stocks, I was going to do some of the Dow stocks today. I don't think I'll waste time. This is a peak D in the CVX, and it's a leg D in the weekly chart. I'm really watching this very closely. That's Chevron Corporation. Now, I did want to go through. Look, GE. GE is at an all-time high as we speak, 274.25. We're still long from the 190s. And it's good. All-time high, leg D. Okay, that's your D. Look at Robinhood. Robinhood it was down earlier, now it's up a little bit. It actually hit 109 today. 130.44 was around about the 19th or so. And then that was a peak F, and now it's just kind of having inside. It's trading in this kind of cup formation. Isn't that interesting? Even after earnings yesterday, at least it didn't tank. I would have said, okay, I'll be back in a moment. Dow's up 74.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, we're back. So CFLT, we were talking about that maybe yesterday, a couple of days, and I said I've done a lot of work on this particular kind of pattern, and the rule of thumb that I have is that a long sideways rectangle formation. I've done webinars on this, the rectangle, narrow and large, characteristics of the rectangle formation. Long and narrow rectangles can last a lot longer than you think, especially when you see it go to the top and you think it's going to break out and then it pulls back. And then it goes to the bottom and you think it's going to break down and it goes back up, and it just wiggles like a sine wave in between. There are rules and things that I talk about a lot. There's also the large rectangle, but I mentioned that CFLT, which is Confluent Inc. A-shares, had this pattern that seemed to be stuck like a lowercase h that goes to a lowercase m and then repeats the same thing again. And that if it failed from here above the halfway marker, and I think I mentioned the halfway marker, it was about 28. If it failed there, be careful because it could come back and test the low. But if it did break out, I'd expect maybe 32, 33, and then you've got to be careful. Well, what happened, there must have been earnings, because yesterday it's tootling along, and that's around about 26.30 or so. Today, and that's a little problem. It is trading at 18.05, down 8.34, minus 31%. And there's that, I mentioned that it was a leg D, and you've got to be careful, especially a quick A to B to C to D in these Chapman Wave peaks. I did not know it would happen, and look at this, plummets down right to that whole baseline that we were looking at, not that one there in November of, I think it was November of 24. I'm going to the one that starts the whole thing back in May of 22 at 16.43. All right? The low today is already 17.51. I don't know what's the story. So I just wanted to cover that. Next thing I had was a question about... I wanted to do this because this was going to be one of my picks for today. And CRWV, CoreWeave. And look, here it is. So I had done this work. I spent quite some time with this. I showed this recently. And then I said, it's got this diagonal trend line, and it made a high of 187 round number the 20th of June, and it made a dreaded H, and it just kept going down. The 9-period moving average was weak. But what I liked was, and then I didn't even notice it, in fact, until I just picked this up now. I put it in light pink. I typed in, and I said, this could be completely wrong, but I want to mention that it's a technique I developed a long time ago. You know how I talk about the flat base restart? That's where you make a low, and then you start to try to move up, and you keep coming down, but you don't take out that low. So you go to peak A, and it pulls back. Then you go to an A and a B, but then it pulls back, and then it goes again to an A, and then it pulls. And then finally, when it breaks out, it really soars to the upside. I forgot that I typed this in, and I can't remember when I typed it in, but because it broke from an instant restart, went to peak E and F. This is not Technical Friday, but I wanted to talk about it. It pulled back, and I typed in here, completely forgot, because I had this, I was looking at the left side, right side price time match, and it was so tiny. I always put it in tiny, because you never know if it's going to work. Chapman wave unconventional flat base restart to 104s. Well, it went yesterday. I was looking at this the day before, and it was one day late to get to the low that I was expecting, and that was the low of 104.90. It went to 106.30, and I thought, all right, what happens when stocks miss this perfect left side, right side price time match is that sometimes they can be delayed, and then they go under, and then they pop up. That's what I was looking at. I completely forgot about the Chapman wave unconventional flat base restart to 104s. Well, lo and behold, yesterday it went to 100.80. And I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect, because this is a core weave, CRWV, AI infrastructure, processing capacity. It was the darling all the way through from about May, all the way through to June. And then it took a dive, a much bigger dive than anybody would have thought, from a round number high. Now, what did it do? It came down, and I thought, okay, I would not have got it today, because what I would have wanted was underneath the low yesterday. The close was 102.89. I would have given it maybe no more than a point high, and I would have said, I want to buy it under, that was the close, under 106. I probably would have, even that would have been an extravagance for me to buy a gap up like that. But I like the action. And lo and behold, today it gaps up 11.17 at 114.59. So is this the low? Is this, the trouble is that these one-offs, it's done that many times before. I wanted to be close to the low. So, you know, like what I always say is, you want to get the outer rim of the move, because then what happens when it pops up, you've got wiggle room when it starts to digest those gains, or on the way down when it starts to try to reinforce some energy and it doesn't have it. But if you're on the outside, that's different. So in this particular instance, too late, but I like the action, and it's just telling me that within the sectors that we're looking at that have been weak, maybe there's a bit of a rally potential there. So that's that. That was my choice. The next one was, I wrote them down. ARGX. Oops, I don't know if I'm going in order. ARGX. Oh my! I think we looked at this just recently. Argenx SA, South America, I think, ADS, antibody therapies, rare autoimmune. I said, this is acting so well, but I think we were over here, and I said, we've got to move up. But unless the 9 is acting well, the MACD was acting quite nicely. Stochastic was over 80%, and the on-balance volume was good. And I can't remember exactly what I said, because we were over here in the weekly chart. I believe I said that until the 9-period moving average crosses positive, I think it's kind of stuck. Whoa, stuck. It's up $80 at $6.79 today, up 13%. Must have been quite incredible news. Okay, so who mentioned this? I can't remember. AGI. Oops, I have to go back to find out who asked the question. Okay, I haven't got it there. Oh, it's taking a little bit too much time. So, a lot of notes there. That was, Duncan was CFLT. Oh, what does he say? In and out for plus 98 cents. CFLT tanked yesterday on numbers. It is a bounce. Yeah, you got to be careful. When it's this deep, you've got to be very careful. Next question came in. HIMS. Yeah, I looked at this and I love the action. HIMS is hims and hers. I love the action. I always have trouble getting the courage to say it has these horrible declines, but for a trade, and then I just skip it. And here it is, 69.61, up 4.08, up 6.27, going to a leg C in the weekly chart. Hims and hers, personal health care, excellent action. Thanks for pointing that out. And all I can say is, if you're in it, congratulations, because this is definitely a really good follow-through to the action when it broke above. This is E, this is actually F. This could be an instant restart, F/B. I'm going to put it in as an F/B. So excellent action. Where's the support? It's at 69 right now. Support is between 66.80 and 64.70. I'll be right back. I think the Dow might close much weaker, then we'll see what happens. I'll be back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tiger Technicians Hour is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Let me just clarify for WP in the Tiger YouTube. No, the QQQs are not in leg B. You didn't see this little peak right here. On the 13th, the high was 536.78, a slightly lower high. The following week, the 20th of June, it had 535.37, and then it broke out, and this is still, it's called a leg, a floating letter, a leg B until it makes a peak B. And I might be wrong, but I think next week, well, tomorrow is the first, tomorrow's the first. So if tomorrow there's a slightly higher high in the QQQ, that'll extend leg B in the weekly chart because, is that right? No, it does. It extends it, but then we could still have a lower high next week. That'll be a new week. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, yeah, at this point, you forgot that. Have a look at that, the June, the 13th to June, the weekly chart of June the 20th. That's a peak. And some of them did that. The Dow even, look, the Dow had the slightly lower high. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the S&P. SPX.X, there we go. X, there we go. Yeah, look at this. 1 bar rest for peak A, and that was May the 23rd to the 30th. You had a fractional low, and that made a peak A, and then peak B was even less, and now it's in leg C. So, yeah, you've got it. That's the whole thing. That's why Steve's technique, he's automated it, and he gets every one of these peaks. The count, the actual letter itself sometimes has to change because of the other methodology that I have, but that's fantastic to be able to do that. All right, so S&P right now, it was Zip, I think, was looking at RGX, and I think you were long. So congratulations in holding it, if that's what you did. KMI. So this is very interesting because this name crops up forever. KMI, Kinder Morgan, trading at 28.05. It's up 5 cents. I'm going to have a look to see what Kinder Morgan does just really quickly. Kinder Morgan, KINDERMORGAN, does. And it does. Largest energy infrastructure. Oh, that's right. I'm thinking to myself, such a familiar name. It's not in financials. It's not in real estate, but it is energy infrastructure. Okay. So I'm not going to type that in now. It will take too much. Okay. Pipeline, transports, natural gas, carbon. Dioxide, more. Yeah, this is a great company, and it made not an all-time high, I don't believe it is, but it made a multi-year high at 31.48. I think that's 48. January of 2022, this year. It's just been going sideways. Now, let me do a couple of things. So you have, I know the questioner has positions and has long-term positions. Can go short, can have shorter term even. But I'm looking at the longer term. And if you look at the weekly, it's gone peak A, peak C, and it's struggling. And this huge gap, for whatever the reason, the week of, it makes a high, the all-time high, back in January at 31.48. And then the next day, maybe earnings or something, gaps down, and that gap high has just been tagged, but it hasn't been filled. It's a couple of times high with 29.21. So a few weeks ago, it went above it, closed above it, and then then it came down. So this says to me it's acting very well, but not great. It's just in a trading band. What I'm going to recommend, if you are long, just stay long. Let's look at it again in about another 2 days because crude oil itself is starting to rally. But look at natural gas. They call it the widowmaker, right? Look at it at the lows. It's almost at the low of November or October of last year. Oh, this is terrible. So let's just keep in mind, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you KMI. I'm not going to tell you to do anything other than today the low was 27.60 and it popped up and now it's up 6 cents at 28.07. I kind of like this action. It's the 9-period moving average hasn't flipped positive. This is what I would tell you. If you do have a position, if this is not your first position, I would add right here at 28.08. Have about what's today's low? 27.60. Have a 27.40. No, 27.20. Stop. And the reason is because if in this move it actually takes out the highs that were made back on the 14th of July at 28.36, all of a sudden it looks like it won't be coming back here until it makes a few higher attempts. That's what the 9 and the 14 in the weekly chart, the daily chart hasn't got there yet, but the weekly chart says, hey, it's still holding good. This is still in a buy mode. But as far as new positions are concerned, you could use the same parameters, 28.11 right now, but only a small position. Either way, it's a small position. One would be an add-on and one would be brand new right now. And only because there are signs that this energy sector, if you look at the XLE, the XLE, see, it's making a high-level consolidation. It's not breaking down. Every time it gets to the 200-period moving average, this is the S&P Select Energy Fund, it rallies. All right, next question was UNH. So you remember I spoke about UNH. I said, we are not going to go long, even though it gave a Chapman wave right there. Chapman wave volume price climax low. And that was on the 15th of May at 248.88. I said, why? Because there are legal connotations. It's different when Schwab did that way back in May something a few years ago. That was the low 45. It hasn't seen that since. It's been fantastic. This is different. There are legal suits. Just not a good idea. Go into a peak G at just over 600. Just on the April, where everything was started, the low was April 7th for the general market. This was the high. And since then, it's been down to where? To where it is right now, at 256, down 9. And the low was 248.88. I wouldn't touch this. Now, the question is this still a place to short? You know, the stocks that are in, not the doldrums, but in the doghouse. Doghouse should be fun. The stocks that are being pummeled continue to be pummeled. Stocks that make all-time highs continue to at least attempt to make those new highs, continuation of the highs. So I'm just going to say UNH, don't touch. The next question came in. And then you also asked the KMI with Peloton. I had this all notated a long time ago, and then it just fell off the list. This is a nice bounce. I treat it only as a bounce at 728. ABC, this is a leg D, maybe a peak D today. The weekly chart still pink, 9-period moving average. You know, this is dangerous. If you fall off the bike, you really get hurt. So this is Peloton, 727 right now, down 7 cents. I would say let's look at it. Ask this again, maybe Monday or Tuesday. If it tags 725 and it's holding, and then it starts to make a little U-turn, I'll say, maybe now it can retackle this high. So with that said, we're going to wrap up this segment before we get to the next. I still got a bunch of questions that have come in. AEM, as we go to the break. This is the gold stock, Agnico Eagle, fantastic stock, goes to a high of just about 130 just recently, and now it's at 124. I should talk about this because it's holding pretty well. I'll be back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds for both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Yeah, so let me just go back. Agnico Eagle Mines. I had this left side, right side price time action. It had this, look at that beautiful midpoint to the low. That's the number of bars on the left. Equal, it was 1 month late, but it equaled the number of bars on the right, went to peak D, did an instant restart, and now it's an EF. I'm not going to do alternate count because it's an F. Agnico Eagle Mines, $125.59 up to 22. So this has been one of the best of the group. It's got a peak D probably today, going in tomorrow. I don't know if it goes above 120. What is that? 128.99. It goes to 128.99 or 129.00 by Friday. That just continues leg D, or if it goes above that, that's an extension of D. If it fails, it becomes a peak D, but a very minor peak D right now. But look, you've got, this is the one. This is great. But if you go to ASA, I haven't updated it for a while. This is the one that I use as a kind of a proxy because it's like a fund. I think it has 5 South African gold companies. ASA, Gold and Precious Metals, went to a new high, multi-year high, just about 35, pulled back. And this is taken a little bit more time, but the pattern looks like it could be an arch, the dreaded H formation in the weekly. It's certainly that in the daily chart. So please be careful. And there's a big difference. Look at the GDX. So it's just a couple that have held extremely well. Most of them have really, look, peak D. Remember those peak Ds? Peak D in the 54, 60-ish area. Now it's down to 51.82. It's not breaking down anything. It's just taking quite a bit of a breather in time and price. That's the Gold Market Vectors ETF. And if you're looking at silver has pulled back a little bit. It's down today 1.1 at 36.58. Not a little bit. It went to peak D and now it's pulling back very sharply. So our silver stock, we've taken nice profits, but I'm thinking this is maybe the time to get out. Now, I've got a peak C in the weekly chart. Everything about it looks like a D, but it says C, and it's a leg E in the monthly chart for silver. Going to have to watch this closely. Bitcoin, I keep forgetting to put Bitcoin in. Bitcoin is up 1,205, stuck in the range. Remember, what's the rule? Let's see if this is the chart. What's the rule? The rule is that a narrow rectangle formation can last a lot longer than your patience, and then just be careful if the base is taken out. In this case, I'd said it can last a little longer because it made more cup-shaped formation with this bar 5 sessions ago being a little bit lower than everything else into the gap and now out of it. So this can stall a little bit longer. So that's Bitcoin holding very nicely, but not showing the kind of strength it had before. Next question came in down there. Did that. Oh, where did it go? Oh, copper, yeah, 50% tariffs or something like that. Boy, I could do it. That was one quick hit. Now, the other thing is, could I look at GTM? GTM, have I updated? No, I guess maybe I haven't. I thought I had done this once before. Anyway, what is it called? It's called GTM. So GTM, okay, doesn't say what it is. So as I said, I believe by the end of the day, I think that maybe the Dow will be negative. GTM does. No, this is coming first to Google something or other. GTM Inc., GTM something. Let me do it again. GTM stock. Stock does. Probably already typed it in. GTM, there it is. GTM refers to Zoom Info Technologies. The stock is traded on the NASDAQ. Okay. Zoom Technologies. All right, okay, that's different. So this is looking, okay, so let me do that. So let me do this real quickly. Okay, that's already completed. Peak A below it, B, C, D, pulls back. Then A, B, overlapping wave, A, B, C, D, E. It's gone to F with an instant restart, and this is a G. All right, G/B, but I'm calling it a G. This is peak A is there, this is B. All right, so all I can say is the buildup in the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence in the monthly chart, and the stochastic making higher lows is exactly what I look for, but I need price confirmation. So with the price making lower lows, that's a divergence, but that's the divergence until it really breaks out. So to your point, that I think that you're looking at it with through options that are giving you indications that it's building up momentum. And Monday is earnings. Oh, Monday's earnings. All right, let me do it this way. So the monthly chart is got a long way to go to get positive. The weekly chart is positive, but it has to break above this candle the week of the 7th of March, 1201 is the high. It has to get, and right now it's at 1088. It has, well, first of all, it has to close above the high of 3 sessions ago, which is 1151. So this is Thursday. So it's got Friday, maybe Friday just tootles along. It trades between 1120 and maybe just a slightly lower low of 1081 right now, maybe 1060. If there's a gap up on Monday, does that gap, is it after the bell or before? It doesn't matter. This is the former symbol Zoom. I did ZM the other day. Oh, former symbol Zoom. Why is Zoom showing up as a different chart altogether in the monthly? The weekly, just let me, GTM. Why did they do this? They just do this to me too. No, 2 different chart patterns entirely. GTM is a really positive pattern. So if it's able, let's put it this way. If on Monday, after the earnings, whether it's the morning or the evening, doesn't matter. After earnings, if on Tuesday, this is trading above 11, I need to get right into the 12s. 1198, 1223. If it can touch the 12s and close there, that's something very different to this chart pattern. It really changes the weekly, and then the weekly is going to help the monthly. Absolutely. You just don't want to see it close under 1050, which is the 200-period moving average. And as I say, you've done your homework. I haven't. I'm just looking at it as a price movement now. The weekly chart looks very much like it wants to go into the 12s and test that high of March. That's the way it looks right now. Okay. All right, next question came in. I'm out of silver for now. Okay, yeah, so you're out of silver. All right, well, that's good. I thought about getting out just recently, but we've had these big pop-ups, and the pop-ups tend to copper stocks, thank you, D5 in the den. CPER, that CPER is the copper ETF, CPER, here it is. Elizabeth, look, this is G, big G, and what a tumble. G, and there were no technical signs whatsoever right there that this G would have been a major collapse. So this is an aberration. and trading from the 36s down to where it is at the 27s right now. Whoop! That was a big one. After the bell. Okay, so copper is down 4%, but copper stock ETFs are positive. COPX, COPP, and SCCO. There's a divergence. I'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Yeah, so even looking at XYZ, which is Block Inc., formerly Square, which is at a fabulous, where did it store? Right at the 200-period moving average at a peak F in the daily chart. It's down from its high of 84, it was 82.18. This recent high 4 sessions ago is now at 76. The way I'm looking at this, I think that we're making some kind of a top, and that next week is going to be WEAK week. That's just the way I'm looking at it. So we've started short position. We might start adding to the short side, but it's very selective. And as I said, we've got to monitor the ones that were really very good. Now, I don't want to take too much time because I'll do that tomorrow on Technical Friday and send any questions your way, technical questions in the Chapman methodology. As I say, I am starting to prepare to think in terms of a webinar. Maybe I'll do a webinar for subscribers, and I'll go over many of the techniques that we talk about, and then I'll have a live session, maybe just like a week later. I'm thinking I want some follow-up to the veracity of looking at certain specifications and see if they met and what happens if they are. And that's just really important. There are some really simple techniques. I mean, look at this. Look at the 9-period moving average. That we don't have this, but look at the 9-period moving average from the 14th of May at 59. Not once, even with the dips, has form a square. It's called block now. Gone pink in the 9-period moving average. Even now, the 9 is so wide above the 14. So it's going to take a little while. So I think it's a process that we're going to start to see whittling away. And I'd probably say use Robinhood as a kind of an indicator. Robinhood, if it starts to stall at 106 right now and starts to go into the 98 area. Remember, I mentioned stocks that go to 96 very often go to 106 very quickly. This did. It went to 130.44. And then there's usually a period of pullback, and then 124 is usually the next level. This is what I do from memory. I haven't done any technical study, but this is just years and years of watching stocks. So we'll see if this takes a breather, and the next move up, maybe late summer, will be in the 124 area for Robinhood. Have a great day. Stay tuned. Steve Rhodes is coming up here. And thank you, D5.